been walking for quite a while today. Sun's coming up. Beautiful day. We glassed a bit from this ridge top this morning. But right now we're just making our way back in here. Trying to get off the beaten path. Go where no one else will go. But we got through the snow drifts and had to break out the shovel a few times, throw on the chains on the truck, but here we are. We're hoping when we get up here to these ridges, we're going to get into big deer. And I think we will. Hopefully we can show y'all a lot of deer today. Just give you guys a glimpse of the wildlife back here in this winter range. I'm stoked. All right. Well, it's first morning, really. And we got our packs loaded with several days of food. We're bombing in. We got to our first little spot here and picked up an old regressed buck. Kind of crabby, but real nice heavy, with the doe chasing her around, a few other does around, and then we're sitting there glassing that buck, and another buck came walking right close to us, probably 80, 100 yards, and he's a dandy, pretty nice big four. So we watched him. He spooked. He came right on to us, and we watched where he went. So we're gonna try to get a perch up on this top here and see if we can't relocate him. He's a solid buck. Even for day one, he's a solid buck. So, did he see us and run, or did he just? Yeah, he's right here. That's close. This buck. It seems like he's looking at us. Yeah, it's wavy. We've got two pretty nice bucks. First two bucks we've really seen. But everything's looking pretty good. It is cold. 5 degrees so far. It's gonna warm up to maybe in the 20s today, but sun's out. Those deer are probably gonna be moving a lot today. It's just cold. So this is a mid-November, and nice and cold. So those bucks are just rutting this time of year. We happen to be in a spot where this isn't a migration hunt. They're just here. They're resident deer. And they're going to be rutting here for a few weeks for sure. We're going to see deer. We're going to see quite a few bucks. Trying to find pluck a couple of big old mature bucks out of this country. Definitely is doable. We just got to put in the time. So kind of the name of the game is get up on the tops where we can see big amounts of country and glass our eyeballs off. One thing about these bucks I've noticed when hunting this country is they just don't tend to move too far away. Even when you bump them, we've got the days to burn. So today we're just going to, at some point we do need to hop off our perch and find a spot for our teepee, preferably with some wood where we can get a fire going because it's going to be cold tonight. But yeah, name of the game, grab a perch and glass up a buck that Brian's happy with. Yeah, I mean, one thing's for certain. Like, I've hunted with Ryan for a few years, and it's better if I can shoot something that I'm really happy with, and then we can focus on all the trophy hunting for the next week or two. Truth is, I'm actually quite happy with a nice mature buck. Lampers, he's got a garage full of them, so he's got to spend a lot more time out here to get something different than what he's already got. Yeah, it's true. I want something unique. Trying to find a big old heavy with a little bit of trash on him would be really cool. And they're out here, you just got to find them. But it's a rare find, so we may have to look at 100 or 200 bucks before we find one. Well, we got a lot of looking to do, I guess. I'm excited. We're gonna get up here on this perch, see what we can see. Like a ninja. You gotta be out here. It's 5 degrees. these boulders up here to break the wind a little bit. So I boiled some water and I threw some Lono Life Thai curry bone broth in there. And I got some rice ramen, so it's like a rice noodle. And I throw a little sea salt in there. And it's the best meal of the day, especially on these cold days.
Well, we actually put eyes on a pretty good buck. He's bedded. He's pretty far away though. Looks nice, but it's so hard to tell at this range. He's a couple thousand yards away. He was dogging a doe, chasing her, and then this other buck, small buck, was right up in there with him, and he kept chasing that little buck off and then coming back to his doe and chasing that little buck off, coming back to his doe. But he's one of the better bucks we've seen this afternoon. So, but it's about 2 or 3 o'clock, right about the time they'll probably start standing up and feeding again. So we're just kind of hoping we see something here real soon. But that was a good looking buck. He's still there. He's just bedded with that doe. He doesn't want to leave that doe. But he's pretty far out there, and we saw another buck this morning that Ryan thinks is a better buck. So we're just we're gonna hang tight. We got the vantage point right here. So before we bomb off and chase that buck, we're gonna see if there's not something bigger right in here. And then if we have to, we'll make our way over to that buck over the next day or two, assuming he stays somewhere nearby. But this is amazing. Glassing into this wind is rough, but there's like 12 does right over here. Hoping there's a giant somewhere nearby. Well, we spotted 2 good bucks. One we just saw walking away from us. Just got a little film of him. He's a good looking buck. We don't have much time through our gear and our bags. Full packs, it kind of sucks, but we're making our way over there. See how much ground we can cover before we run out of daylight. Hopefully we get him. We're making decent timing. Covered more ground than I thought we would. All right. We're not making that good a time anymore. We got about an hour before dark, so maybe it's gonna happen. We'll see. Bunch of deer popping up on all the ridges. You know, they've been bedded all day. Now they're like coming up to the tops to feed. Yeah. Well, didn't happen. Got dark too fast. We're close to where we last saw him roll over this ridge. We're just gonna have to call it a day. Find a place to set up camp, see if we can drum up some wood in this place.
All right, so decided to camp down in this valley. Probably the flattest spot I've seen all day. Somehow we just walked onto it, which is great. It's actually grassy too. The hardest part where we're at is finding wood. Unfortunately, on our way here, we found like this nice little bone-dry, dead patch of timber that we could go back to. And so I raced over there, and I just buzzed up some wood.
This pile?
It's gonna be a long night, so might as well get twice what we need, probably. Pretty sure. That should give me 3 cups of coffee in the morning, too. We got wood for tonight and tomorrow because it's getting pretty cold. But we brought the big SXL stove today, so just because it's getting so cold at night. Yeah, we brought the Red Cliff on this one, so we got a ton of space, even with 3 of us. And that plus this big stove, it's just hot in here. So it's way different when you have the big stove compared to the small one we've been bringing. Next level.
Dude, that thing is hot.
Yeah. It's
I think it's glowing red.
Man, we needed this last night. 5 degrees. I got the damper shut too. Yeah, the other issue this time of year is like it's dark at 5 o'clock, so long nights, which is another reason to have the stove. So we're gonna probably get a lot of sleep tonight. This evening, when we saw that really good buck, we're thinking it might have been the one from this morning. Hard to tell, it was a long ways off. I figured he'd make a play and just run over here and see if we couldn't pick him up just before, we lost light. We got quite a ways over here, but we never did pick him up. Tomorrow, we'll be up bright and early, and we got a nice kind of vantage point and big perch right, I don't know, a few hundred yards up, so we can just climb this hill and get a really good look at a huge area again. So hoping that we pick up that really good buck that we saw this evening. And if we do, then Brian's going to shoot it on day 2.
That's right.
Inevitably, we see these great bucks on the first few days. And, you hope to see one on the very end, but this is definitely a buck worth going for. So if we can get a play on him tomorrow, that'd be great. Get a nice big buck like that on day 2. Still have some days to try to find another one. Wind is blowing in.
Getting everything packed up. We're gonna roll up here and get on top of this knob. See if we can get to the high ground and spot a big buck as the sun comes up. It's a race against the clock.
See what we got on our first buck. He's a nice mature buck. Looks pretty boxy and heavy. He's coming right down this gut of this valley, so the wind is not in our favor. We're gonna blast just to play it safe in case he cuts over this hill. So we've got to play if he comes there and he doesn't wind us. But either way, I think if he keeps down this valley, we'll get a shot on him as well. So we're gonna take off.
We're just gonna play it safe. Circle around him. Try to keep our wind really good. It's not worth taking any chances
we're going this way. And Brian looks back. He looks back that way and sees a group of deer. Pretty much where we came from, but just down in the cut. It's a younger buck. He's not one to go for, but there's a pile of deer over there just tucked away. We're still missing that big one. We don't know where he went, but they just get lost out in these coulees. So, and all the deer with this west wind, they're all tucked into those eastern slopes. It's just the problem is we have to glass from them, looking into them, so we're getting pounded with wind. But they're all just bedded up down in those cuts.
Oh, that's glorious.
It's gonna be glorious. Is some ramen and coffee.
That, my friends, was entirely predictable. I could have said ramen and coffee with bone broth and a touch of sea salt. Like I could have nailed it all. Especially the coffee. It might be a 2 coffeeer, might be a 1. We don't know. We're not super remote for 14 days. Like we're remote, but is running out of coffee the one fear you have back here? Like the biggest fear?
It's a nightmare situation for sure. So I just make sure I got twice as much coffee. Kind of like I always get twice as much wood as we think we need. I get twice as much coffee as I think I'm gonna drink. So it's never gonna happen.
It's never gonna run out, folks. It's never gonna happen.
James is a high spender, big spender here. He's got this one.
That's like Wonder Bread.
Are these 35 cents?
29
for $1?
They're 29 cents.
Should have brought more of them. I could eat 3 of them right now.
It almost doesn't seem fair having a teepee and a stove and all this comfort. I mean, this is more comfortable than my trailer. The cots are nice. Beds, big foam mattresses are nice, but this cozy fire, it's hard to beat, and you're like remote. It's cool, man. That wind is just ripping. 30 knots, you said? Which, for those of you who are, not nautical, I have no idea what that means, so we'll have to check on that later. All I know is tomorrow is 10 to 20 knots. Today is 20 to 30 knots.
30 to 40 today.
30 to 40.
Up to 10.
Up to 10 tomorrow. That means tomorrow's going to be fine. Right?
Yes.
So tell me about deer and the wind.
Usually what happens is they go to bed on those real blustery winds. And sometimes they'll just hunker down. I mean, we got a west wind coming today, so they'll try to get on those eastern slopes and tuck into the brush and the rocks. And so far, it's so windy that they're not even on the eastern slopes. They're down in the holes, like right in the bottoms, and it's just really hard to get eyeballs on them. So usually we could just go and like glass into those little cuts that are kind of protected, but man, the wind is just ripping right up through everything. So they are well put away, and they have just not come out today at all. So hopefully just before we lose all our light, we might get something to come up, but this wind needs to chill out a little bit.
Well, we got up out of our shelter, and so far seen lots of tracks, but that's about it. Just trying to get lucky. See some monarch of the mountain just bedded right on a bluff, right on the edge of the wind. It's what I'm dreaming about each time we poke into another cut. It's like, monster. Well, we've been up here glassing for about an hour and a half, and saw a few deer, but we saw kind of a funky looking buck big, but he might be old. So we're gonna see if we can get closer eyes on him and see what he looks like up close. He's a cool looking deer. Well, we've been seeing a lot of deer, and got this buck over here, mature buck over here with a couple does, a little forked horn with them. Not quite what we're looking for. Our other buck was a little trashy looking, a little heavy, some bladed, not a huge rack, but a lot of character. We haven't seen him. We've been glassing the basin he walked into, but haven't laid eyes on him yet. So anyway, we'll see. Could be bedded right out here somewhere close. He might be a shooter. He wasn't obvious. Not too long ago, I passed up on a buck that was kind of bladed and heavy looking. We called him the brow time buck. His frame wasn't really big, but all the extras really made him a lot bigger than he looked from a distance. So I don't really want to make that mistake again. I passed on that buck. So we both want to see, besides bucks that are trashy and have a lot of stickers and junk on them, they're just fun to look at. So they're just kind of bizarre looking, different than what you normally see. So kind of hoping we see something like that. Ryan's walking out this ridge here just to glass up this basin before we turn around and come back.
So I just crested over this. We had that buck we want to look at shooting the gut here. Just came up through this little saddle, and I got a forky rutting 2 does. There's probably more, but we got a really good look at this whole saddle now. So the goal is to try to pick up that buck we saw. It looked like it had some trash to it, so we want to get better eyes on him. So we're watching this, just the gut of this valley, and we had 2 does come in, another doe. Now we've got a buck. It's a different buck than the one we saw, so we're expecting the other one to come in anytime. Yeah, this doe right in front of us spooked a little bit from something, but I think we'll see that other buck here pretty quick. There's just deer like speckled across this mountain. There's just solo does, doubles everywhere. So I don't think they're going anywhere. In fact, this buck right now is kind of walking up towards us. It's pretty cool. They're rutting pretty good today.
Melt a little snow and have some ramen for lunch here. Hot noodles. We got a group of does down here, just chilling with a 3x3 buck with them. We're kind of hoping that our big buck is somewhere nearby, bedded in the sage, and that he'll get up and show himself here soon.
Alright, well, we've been sitting here for hours waiting for this buck to show back up, the one we saw this morning. And he just showed up. I picked him up in the shade. There's been a group of does down there. He's cool. I want him. He's got trash and stickers and a little cheater. And he looks pretty heavy, so we're gonna boogie. We got a long flat to cover down this up the other side, but let's see if we can get on him. Yep, he's a good looking deer. He's cool. He's He's not a giant, he's just really cool, got unique features on his rack, so. But he's a long ways off. The wind is perfect, and we're taking this sunny side, so it's nice and soft. Snow, a little bit of melt. Yeah, this was all against that. I'm gonna try to get up here to get a little bit of an angle on him, see if we can't see him through the crack. Otherwise, we're gonna be really close. So we got crunchy snow. That's gonna put us about 150 yards. It's too close, too crunchy, so we're gonna actually take this route. It's pretty barren of snow and the sun soft, and probably still be a 200-yard shot on this buck. loosen my sweatshirt down there.
James, we're just taking turns doing push-ups to keep from freezing to death.
Is he standing yet?
No.
I think we're close to him getting up. He's starting to move around a little bit more. He was sleeping a couple minutes ago, just head on the ground completely. Just a really cool buck. He looks really old gray face. He's got some junk, he's got some cheaters. So really cool. But I think we're close to him standing up. All the other deer have walked away. They're up and down the mountain feeding, so he's probably going to want to go join him here pretty quick.
Oh, he's up.
You ready? He's down. He just dropped in his tracks.
I am frozen like a popsicle.
He's got so much character. It's like he's not real wide. I don't care. He's got kickers and stuff, and he just looks like a really cool looking. Oh man, oh that was good. What a cool stalk. That's funny. We watched that buck pretty early, and then we've just been glassing this general area for hours, and we saw some does bedded up here. And we could see kind of a few of them. A lot of them were on the other side of this cut. And just being diligent, we finally picked him up again, and he's just feeding. Came right out of this little cut. And he just bedded right in this shady spot. I don't know why. You'd think they'd want to be out in the sun right now. It's so cold, but really just a perfect place to get really nice and tight. 200-ish yards. So it's nice when it's just a guarantee, like one-shot kill. No question. Let's go grab our packs and put a puffy jacket on.
Yeah. Whew. All right. Got our puffy jackets on. All is right with the world again. And we'll walk up on this buck and put our hands on him.
We're just glassing him up from here. Such a cool looking rack. Great buck.
Dang right. He looks cool.
You look good, doesn't he?
Not often you get to see a buck, especially around here with kickers and that kind of trash. Like perfect kickers off each side.
Holy cow. Lampers. Wow. I did not expect. I mean, I knew he was bladed.
Oh, cool.
surprisingly, with the kickers, you know. This one's all bumped up and broke. What a great buck, man. I couldn't be happier. Just what a unique set of antlers he's got on him. He's got points. He's almost symmetrical in that he's got kickers and then little devil points off of him. That's cool.
He's bladed.
He's very bladed. That's kind of what jumped out when I first saw him, was just this blade on the top. He's got 7 on one side and 6 or 7 on the other. This is one of those bucks. He's really hard to put a size to, antler size. Typically these deer, you can see mature deer that have not the biggest bodies on them, so you really want to watch them for a while. But I knew when I first saw him this morning there was something going on, like some type of a crown or some stuff. So that got me excited. And then just looking at him from the side, he's really hard to judge, which is what we saw him most, was from the side. But we got a little film of him this morning turning, and you could see him from the back, and the tops were just, there's like mass up there and bulk up there. So that's what got me excited to.
I couldn't figure out what was going on.
It was just like something unique. That's why I was like, dang, we lost him because we didn't see him for very long. But intrigued us for sure. So well worth sitting up on that point, spending all those hours glassing for him to come back. And you just don't get those crowns like that very often. That's just so unique. Bladed, love it. That's what I came for. Absolutely. You could not ask for a better buck than this. 7x7. We're gonna have a little meat tonight. Maybe some heart. I'll probably get in trouble with my daughter, but we'll eat some heart, and she can blame you for that.
I can take that.
But it's so cold that this meat's gonna get chilled tonight. One thing you can't do around here is hang it. There's just no trees. Just got to keep it nice and close to the tent. All right. Well, I got an inReach message from my wife and said now she wants me to not only take the heart and the liver and all that stuff, but she wants the spleen and the pancreas and of course the kidneys. So we're gonna bring out a little bit more guts on this one, a little bit more weight, but that's cool. It'll be interesting trying that spleen and also the adrenals. So I'm gonna break this thing down real quick and start filling game sacks. Probably, it's quite a few miles, but I want to take the bone with this one, get some bone broth. So I'm just gonna quarter this thing up, and we should be good.
Driving through West Virginia, and I've seldom been thinner, with that chip on my shoulder. And this past year I got so much older.
All right.
Looking back over my life, spent the most of it tongue-tied. I wish I'd had more time listening to you speak your mind. Now I'm thinking about it every day, on my mind a typical way. Are you a life force? Thinking about it every day, on my mind a typical way. Are you a life force?
Hey folks, I hope you guys enjoyed that gritty film. This YouTube channel is exclusively hunt films. There's no other content published here. So if you like this video and you want to see more like it, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you have not already, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a gritty film production. And if you want to see more behind the scenes gear discussions and other podcast content, check out our other YouTube channel, Gritty Gear and Podcast. And for gritty discounts, events, and merch, check out our website at briancall.com.